machine shop here. Time for, I guess, your weekend entertainment. The last, hopefully there's not a bunch of cars here, it's kind of quiet. The last video I was talking about the fuse on the lathe and why, I had no idea why the motor controller blew. I cut the power switch and it never came back. And I had mentioned that I think the guy that did the motor controller repair saw the last video because I showed he sent 4 amp and 3 amp fuses if I wanted to try them. I was reading the label on the front of it and it says it's supposed to have a 4 amp fuse. Pulled the fuse out, there is a 4 amp fuse in it. So I've lowered it to 3 amps. I've done some machining with it and it hasn't blown. So let's see, I don't know whether cutting the power switch caused the problem or not, because blowing a fuse is the same thing as hitting the power switch. I just wanted to mention that. So I'm down on a 3 amp fuse now. I don't know if I'm ever going to go to a 2.5 or something. The bearings finally came in that I mentioned from Amazon, the tapered bearings for the lathe, just to have them. I'll bring you over to the bench and I'll show you they're really nice for $10 a piece. So just wanted to share that. What else is there? Oh, since I decided to finally do full maintenance on both machines, and I'm glad I did. Gibs were slightly off and loose, and I think what's happening is the screws aren't coming loose, the Gibbs screws. What's happening is they're denting into the Gibbs themselves, and so you're getting slight play. But in any case, I cleaned everybody up, oiled everybody, checked all the adjustments, and actually the knobs here were getting chipped up, so I pulled them off and removed the old Duplicolor paint and repainted them so they're all nice and gold again. So they're all set, ready to go. What else have I got here? On that hammer project, I still need to do the lead one, so I'm starting to get into, I'm going to be smelting here. And I watched a video of the guy that showed how to make really cheap green sand, and he just went to Home Depot and picked up play sand, and I happened to get the exact same one as shown in his picture. And I was looking at it when I opened it up. It's a 50-pound bag and it looked really coarse, and I was thinking, you know, I'm not going to get much sand out of this that's going to be fine, because you got to sift it with, you know, in his video, a really fine sifter. But I'm getting a little bit better than 50%. The 50-pound bag is considered with water because it came soaking wet and it weighed in at 50 pounds. So my last batch is out in the sun right now trying to dry. I've got 4 or 5 pound bags here and a little bit more behind me, so I think out of 50 pounds I'm going to get maybe 30 pounds, which is fine. I've also made my little box here. Here's the little guy. I'm not sure if you can see it. Here's my wife's sifter, which I'm going to have to really clean because there's sand stuck all down in the grain, so I'm going to be poking it out before I return it. But just quickly bang out a little box, and I know you're not supposed to put the bottom on it, but for what I'm doing right now, that's that. Also got a little, where's the guy? Oh, there it is. I'll bring you guys over to the bench and show you this little guy, because I'm just going to start with lead at first, and I just need to make a little chunk because the pieces I have are huge. So I'll melt it down, and I just want to make a little 1-inch diameter slug that I can get in the lathe, and I can turn it down to make it. So to make this little hammer, I'm into what, $17, $6 for sand, and I did get some clay, which I'll show for another $10. So off of Amazon was this and the clay too. So I'll show you more of that on the bench and kind of what I'm getting here for this. But then the last part of this video is a long time ago I showed everybody acrylic parallels And before I made them, I used to just clamp it in the vise, fly cut it, flip it over this way, fly cut it, and it came out pretty good. Back then I didn't have the granite surface or much ways of checking things, but I use them more as soft jaws, and I'm looking at them going, you know, I've drilled into them, there's marks in them, they're getting pretty bad, so I pulled out a spare piece to make another set of parallels, and now that I've got better equipment and stuff to actually check them out. So the last part, oh yeah, because I did see a video, somebody overseas, Europe someplace, a different way, rather than fly cutting them this way, he put them down on the mill table and just cut them both ways. So I'll show that, and then I'll show these on the granite surface and how it came out using that technique. So here we go. Alright, first things first, Amazon. They went on sale from $23 a piece or something to $10. I think it was 10 and change. They did take forever. I think this was 4, 5, maybe even 6 weeks. They're well packaged, sealed. HMN is the company, but you can see them. Like, wow, really nice machining, well greased, they're super smooth, so I'm very, very pleased with them. HMN 30206. Hopefully they're right size. If they're not, Don posted the wrong thing on his website and I will get even. But so there they are. I haven't even opened this one up, but yeah, they're the same. They're sealed nicely. So that's the bearings if anybody's interested in it. Jam it back in there. Alright, so that's that. And like I mentioned, I'm going to start playing with smelting. So this is the pot. It's from Amazon, $16. It was 17 and change with tax. Came real quick. Very nice quality. I'm very pleased with it. It's pretty heavy too. So this should be able to do lead no problem because it is for casting lead bullets. And looking at the temperature for cast iron, which this is, cast iron doesn't melt till well over 2000, so I'm hoping I can do aluminum in this guy also. And then I was looking at this going, the way they did this handle, yeah, you grab it, but you can't completely empty the thing. They should have made it, and I've got to find the metal, where the handle is on the outside and way up above, so that now when you grab it, you can clear the handle and completely empty it. And I may drill a hole here so that I could put another rod or something through it rather than grabbing it with a pair of vice grips or anything. So $17 and change, and that's the guy, and it's pretty big. I guess you guys can inside diameter is what, about 3 3/4 almost. The height is about the same, 3 inches. So nice little pot to use. The sand, that, like I said in the video, it's an extremely fine. It's almost like it's a double mesh, and they stick in there. So when I'm done with this last batch, I'm gonna have to poke them out, and my wife's gonna get angry. So that's what I've been using to sift with. And the sand, yeah, it's coming out pretty darn fine. I think you guys can see that. Oh, is it open? So what I'm getting is really fine looking sand here. And like I said, I'm getting, I think, better than a 50% yield on it. So let's see how it turns out. This is the clay that was $10. I'm not going to open it, but that's the clay from Amazon, and I did open it, and it is an incredibly fine powder. Healing clay. You're supposed to put this in water, let it sit overnight, and drink it to detox your system. Not going to do that. This is 2 pounds, and like I said, $10. I weighed it, and this is like 2.2 because of the plastic case. So hopefully I can make some pretty good sand and cast. We'll see how that turns out. And the last was, yeah, this is the old ones. You can see marks in them. And accidentally hit it with the drill bit doing something, and I said, well, just keep going, because I wanted to get the part done. These were sacrificial, and then here's the 2 new ones, and I gotta make some more. So let's get on with the video on making these guys. Alright, not sure how it's gonna come out, but I've got a parallel sitting under there which goes from here to over here. So the clamps are slightly tilted. I don't want it really bending the edges, even though it's not going to matter. But look at that finish. I just eyeballed this thing to get it straight, and that was within a couple of thousand, so that's luck. But let's take a few swipes here. Kind of a 4-flute, kind of going slow RPMs here. Even, I think, conventional milling is doing pretty good. Which way I gotta go now? I gotta go towards me here. There. There goes the spreel. Figures. Am I touching the bottom? Oh, because I'm just starting to hit the bottom, I guess. That's why it's starting to squeal. So this next pass might be the final pass. Yep, it hit some of it. No, it didn't look like it hit it all. Alright, let's take a 2/1000 cut. That's about 2/1000. Still not hitting the bottom. Wow. Can't believe I'm that far off, so I guess just go fast. That finish is gorgeous. Yeah, now it's starting to hit the bottom. I can see the white stuff on the cutter. Yep. Alright, I think I'll just go back without moving it and try another couple thousand cut. Taking something off that's building up in there. And then put it on the other side, and hopefully when I take it to the granite surface, this comes out really good, I hope. Alright, another 2/1000 cut. 1, 2, go slow. Nope, not getting the bottom. Alright, so this is going to be a while here. Final cut, I'm going to have to go real slow. Wow, that is a gorgeous finish. Ooh, just barely on this edge. Alright, I'll bring you back when I'm kind of done. Well, I was kind of wondering or thinking, when do you call it a final cut? I was thinking every time I pass it, because I'd shut it down, go back, turn it on, and then go and do the climb milling until it stopped cutting. Because every time I make a pass, I imagine it's flexing here or something. So let's see how it comes out here. Get this out of the way. So bunch of passes on the front until it stopped. Bunch of passes on the back. Hopefully they're parallel. I don't know. Hey, boy, that looks tight. See, I'll be curious just to micrometer this thing. Yeah, can't get it loose. Makes a total mess of everything here. There it is. Get the micrometer out here. Well, at least just a caliper and see how close it is. Good. Alright, calipers, so much garbage here. Just get some of this stuff off. Alright, where are we then? So I'm reading, who cares about the 7? 7, just under 19. Wow, hard call. But magnifying glass for these old eyes. Yeah, it could be on top of something here too, I don't know. Same thing, looking very close. Very close. Very close. So, the only way I can tell is on the granite surface. Alright, here we are at the granite surface. Just to kind of slightly clean it up, I did put down, what sandpaper was that? That was 320 grit, right? Yeah. 320 grit on the surface and just held them together nice and tight and just kind of one pass on both sides. So, as I can see, there's spots where it hit and spots where it didn't, which is telling me that the end mill itself isn't straight. I don't know, the flutes or whatever are doing this number on it. So let's see what this is going to do here. Slow. Hey, come on. Hold it down and walk it on there carefully. There we go. Oh shoot. This is not going to be easy. Alright. So, oh, and this is the real sensitive one. So from 0 to 1 is 1/1000th of an inch. Maybe if I walk on it like that. Okay. So, alright. So that's pretty darn straight. See if I can get on the front one. Yep, got on the front one. Alright, so this technique seems to work pretty good. In case you guys think this is rigged, I can tap on it and move it. I can probably tilt one and screw up the needle, right? Yeah, you can see the needle slightly moving there. This is real. So, the tolerance on this thing, I think is 0. Wow. That is crazy. So this technique of making parallels seems to work pretty good. Because before I just put them in the vise and I'd fly cut it, flip it over and fly cut it. And that's dependent upon how well you clamp it in the vise and re-square it up. That is nuts. Look at this. Nothing. No movement. So I think these are pretty good parallels. Let me come off of it. Boom. Alright guys, so there's a technique for making parallels if you want that. Seems to work fairly good. Alright, later.